this morning? Well, that's good to hear. I am back from my tropical time away. I'll tell you a little bit about that as we get into the day. I just wanted to say I'm so grateful to have you here. Welcome to our spiritual community. I'm Reverend Jonathan Zenz. For those of you who may be here for the first time and don't know who I am, I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of enthusiasm, and I'm grateful to share Sunday mornings with this spiritual community. Grateful that you are here. If you're watching online, there's going to be some beautiful faces of members of our community that are going to come up for you right now as we launch into our first song. Oh, if you're able, feel free to stand up and dance too. There's a winding road where I learned to run. The race is long, oh, but it can be won. With every step we're taking, with every choice we're making, with every bend in the road, we get stronger. Here we go. We can reach up, we can reach out, we can show this world what we're all about. We can do anything we put our minds to. We can be anything we want to be. Whoa, we must believe we can share the dream. There's a dead-end street where I used to play, but I found my wings. Oh, I can fly away. Below the street lights fading, ahead is my future waiting. Beyond all those doubts and fears, I can see it. We can reach up, we can reach out, we can show this world what we're all about. We can do anything we put our mind to. We can be anything we want to be. Oh, we must believe we can share the dream. We can share the dream, we can share the dream. Oh, yes, we can. We can share the dream, we can share the dream. Oh, we can share the dream, we can share the dream. We can reach out, we can share the dream, we can share the dream. We can reach up, we can share the dream, we can share the dream. Sharing our future, we can share the dream, we can share the dream. We can reach up, we can reach out, we can show this world what we're all about. We can do anything we put our mind to. We can be anything we want to be. We can reach up, we can reach out, we can show this world what we're all about. We can do anything we put our mind to. We can be anything we want to be. Oh, we must believe we can share the dream. We can reach up. All right. Yes, once again, good morning, beautiful humans. Grateful to have you here at Unity of Tucson for our beautiful high energy Sunday morning. I am nothing if not high energy, right? Yes, yes, yes. Before we continue any further, I need to offer my deepest gratitude to everyone who made last week beautiful and unfold so gloriously. I did watch online. I actually watched a little bit of it live when I was in Punta Cana. I was in the Dominican Republic last week, and I watched a little bit of it live, and I thought, I think I'm going to go be up by the beach and watch later. So I did that. No offense. It's the great thing about having it online is that you get to watch the video archive later. But everybody who made it so spectacular, Laura and William, Kathy and Darwin, thank you so much. And of course to Karen King, who was our guest speaker last week. And I also want to give a little shout out to Anita and to Carol and Jerry and to Winnell for all coming up and participating in the sing-along at the beginning on stage. Really magnificent. Thank you all so much. It was a lot of fun. I actually was really sad I missed it. I do plan on being here for next year when we have Christmas in July again. So once again, we are a spiritual community here at Unity of Tucson. We are here to teach practical tools for a better life. That's the whole point and purpose of this thing called spiritual practice for me. If it's not practical, if I can't put it to use in my life, then what's the point? And what I have found is that putting these practical tools to use in my life, well, life just gets better. That's what I have experienced, and I am so grateful for that. It is my belief that we can purposefully activate our own spiritual evolution, that there is something that we are always consistently growing into, and we can direct that growth. That's what spiritual practice does for each and every one of us. So as we activate that, we create those better lives that I've been talking about. There are 3 tenets that I've distilled down and worked with in my ministry and my life in this thing called spirituality that really seem to encapsulate it all for me. And if you'd like to share these with me, they are these. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. Love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. You are the most magnificent expression of the greatest thing there is, which is God. There is only one infinite power and presence that we call God, this one creative source that we call God. We call it by many names, actually. But let's call it God today. We can call it love. We can call it spirit. We can call it universal consciousness. Doesn't matter. You are that thing itself, the thing itself. I believe our work is to awaken to our magnificence. And you know what? If you're joining us here for the first time, if you're online joining us for the first time, we would love to know that you've connected with us. If you would go to unitytucson.com/connect, you can fill out a little bit of information there. Let us know that you've joined us this morning, and I'm deeply grateful that you've decided to be here with us. If you're in the room and you're joining us for the first time, we would love, if you feel comfortable, for you to make yourself known by standing up, as we do have a gift to offer you. We actually have a couple gifts to offer you. So if you are comfortable with standing up and letting us know that you're here for the first time, well, hello, grateful to have you here. Grateful to have you here. And if you would remain standing for just a moment, Roberta is going to bring a gift for you, but we have a gift for you as well. And so those of us who have been here before, we all know something about you. We've done our research, and we knew that you were joining us here today, and there's a little something that we have to share with you, this thing that we know about you. If we're all ready, on the count of 3, let's let them know. 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. You are absolutely magnificent. And I'm grateful that we are sharing our magnificence with the world, and I think that we should all exclaim for ourselves, I am magnificent. Let's say that together. I am magnificent. It's the truth. Absolute magnificence. If you'd like to use the chat, if you're online for a moment, just to reach out, say hello to those who are sharing this time with you. But if you're in the room, as we go into our quieting time, we're going to take a little bit of time for meditation and relaxation and centering. But I'd love for us to just take a look at the people around us. Just catch the eyes of the people around us. Just recognize the magnificence in everyone. Yeah. As we bring ourselves back to this centered space, let's go ahead and relax right where we are. Charles Fillmore talked about meditation in this way. He called it going to headquarters. And so let's go to headquarters together by allowing ourselves to find that space in our hearts of quiet. If it's safe and comfortable for you to close your eyes or let them fall to a soft, unfocused gaze, please feel free to do so. As we just take this opportunity to relax the body and relax the mind.
may become aware of thoughts in mind. There may be a lot of them. There may be only a few of them. They don't require your attention, so you can simply let them be there, drifting in and out like clouds in the sky drift past. Checking in with the physical body to see if there's any place where there may be any unnecessary tension. Simply inviting that tension to melt away. Opening up to ease and to grace in this moment. Just finding that open space in mind and in heart, easeful and gentle. Today begins a new month, which means we have a new monthly affirmation, which I will speak. And I invite you to just simply take this in. The affirmation is this: I am always in the flow of life, growing and stretching into the best version of me. I invite you to take that to heart as I read it one more time, and then just sit in contemplation of the idea for a few moments. I am always in the flow of life, growing and stretching into the best version of me. I am always in the flow of life, growing and stretching into the best version of me. Love only, forgive everything. Remember who you are. Love only, forgive everything. Remember who you are. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Love only, forgive everything. Remember who you are. Right here in this moment, I am rooted in the assured awareness of the one infinite power and presence, the one source of all that is, the one creator that is expressing itself as all that is created, for there is no separation. All matter is spirit, all spirit is matter. There is nothing other than God. this is inclusive of each and every one of us. Every aspect of our being, every cell, every fiber is God expressing as us. We are the very power and the very presence that is activating the life we live. We live the life of the divine and call it our own. We recognize it as our own. We experience the love of the divine and call it our own and experience it as our own. Knowing that there is absolutely no separation. I know the word I speak right here and right now is a word that is infused with this creative power, as this creative power. And so I speak my word on behalf of each and every one of us to know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that all is well. That everything is flowing forth with grace and with ease. That we are infinite expressions of health and supply. That we are always, always rooted in the most loving, magnificent relationships. And that our creative expression is expanded and expanding at all times. Trusting this with gratitude in my heart, I simply relax into this truth. And with gratitude overflowing from within, I let it be so. And so it is. Love only, forgive everything. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. I'm going to invite Winnell Waters to join me on stage. Winnell is one of our keepers of the flames. I don't know why I always feel compelled to like there's a cloth up here to keep the reflections from going, and I always feel like I have to straighten it out. I think I'm a little OCD in that way. You can laugh, it's okay. Winnell is here to light the flames of faith. She's one of our keepers of the flames. And we engage in this practice every single week, lighting the flames of faith, we call it, as a ritual to understand that all faith traditions, all spiritual practices, all religious paths, they're all born from one thing, and that is love. That's what we honor as we light each of these candles to honor each one of these traditions. And so we begin by lighting a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the divine will of love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light a candle for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony, and for any seekers who may be unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are keeping open for them in our hearts. This final candle we light is the healing candle. The healing candle represents the illumination of the divine in any circumstance, in any experience. That is the revelation of the God essence at the core of all creation. For that is what the true nature of healing is. It is the uncovering of God at the core of all that is. And as we open ourselves up to that more and more, through love, through forgiveness, through compassion, we find ourselves in a healed state, both in mind and in physical form. And so this is your candle for whatever is in your mind and in your heart that requires the light. This is our peace candle on your left. We keep the peace candle consistently illuminated with this understanding that it represents the consistent illumination of peace in our hearts. And as we allow that internal peace to inform our thoughts, inform our expression, inform our intention, inform our words, we create more peaceful experiences of the world. And so let's honor this candle by reading together the prayer for world peace. Divine love indwells each person and radiates from one to another. Harmony is established and peace begins to reign in the world. Yes, it does. Hello.
Hello. Welcome back.
Well, thank you. It's good to be back. Actually, it's about, you can come on over here.
Okay.
For, about 20 minutes before 9, I was standing back by the tech table, and I was like, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. I'm ready to go. I'm back. Okay. You ready? Let's do this. Very playful. Which brings up the homework from 2 weeks ago. Since there was no homework last week, I'm going to talk to you about the homework from 2 weeks ago. If you're new to this community, I give homework every week. That's how we make it practical, by actually practicing throughout the week. And the homework I gave 2 weeks ago was this: find a new way to enlighten up, right? Enlightening up. Engage in play in some fashion. Or if you are somebody who already engages in play on a regular basis, find a new way to engage in play. And so Winnell is here to talk about her experience.
Right, and I have 2 weeks worth.
You can take your mask down, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You have 2 weeks worth. Oh, okay.
Okay, good. All right, so the first week, I realized I hadn't had a lot of play because of this COVID thing, okay? So I'm thrifty, and I love going to thrift stores. So I was talking to my little kid, which I do, which is me, and I say, what do you want? $10. Want to go to the thrift store? So we chose one on the internet. We got there. I'm going to buy a dress. Okay. So my little kid didn't want the dresses that looked my age. She wanted this one. And then we careened over to the shoe department, and all shoes were $2 unless they were boots. And so she got these. And so I even had change left from the $10, which, I was thrilled. You would know the thrill. Okay, so what could beat that? But the second week was really interesting because I realized I make everything a routine. I'm a runner. I've been a runner for 45 years or something. And so it's like, you know, you get in the path, you know your points. Oh, okay, I've gone 2 miles. I'm going to... And it's difficult in my new place because I'm out on an old guest ranch near Gates Pass. And so you're either on the bicycle path or you're on the gravel hoping nobody will get you. All right, so I saw this dead-end street, and somebody had said to me at the ranch, why don't you run down the dead-end street, Winnell? And I thought, I'm looking at it, well, it's not even a half a mile. And I thought, go ahead. So I did. And it backs up to the Yetman Trail. And so I went down there, but it had been raining. So the wash had all these little rivers in it. And I looked at this rock and I said, sit there and meditate. And I went, no. You're not gonna run, I gotta be. No. Sit there and meditate. And I said, I think it's on somebody's property. Sit there. So I got there in the little thing, and I had a full-on vision. And I've only had probably 3 others in my whole lifetime. And I was just like, oh my God. And it's like, this is why you live out here. And it was just, it was amazing. And so it was such a good lesson for me that it's when you step off what you already know, the miracle happens. And so that's how I felt.
That's
I got
great.
off the trail and something really happened.
Get off the trail.
Right.
Yes. Even now.
So that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You've also opened us up to really part of the lesson that we're going to be moving through this month is the theme for August is flow this month. And so you were in the flow and allowing yourself, more on that shortly. There's a song that has special significance to my heart that I love to sing every once in a while. It is the song that essentially launched my ministry. What many people, you may have seen a post yesterday on Facebook, if you're friended with me on Facebook, that seemed a little obtuse. I like to be obtuse and have people question, what does he really mean by that? That said, 10 years ago, now yesterday, was the day that we all started, and it was I tagged the 8 other people, we call ourselves the Divine Nine, who all became ministers officially 10 years ago yesterday. And this song is the first song I ever sang at what would become my first post in ministry at the Center for Spiritual Living in Toronto, Ontario, almost 10 years ago. Let's sing it.
Questions unfolding like books in their pages, they just keep on turning for me. And I keep on asking why every question will somehow relate back to me. Oh, I was told by a night of the sun that wisdom could set people free. Be content in your question, and may I just mention, you're only a drop in the sea. You're only a drop in the sea. Oh, la-di-di, 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 la-di-di. Oh, la-di-di, la-di-di. Directions revolving, these questions I'm solving, but nobody hears what I say. My answers unspoken, of sweetest emotion, believe how it feels today. Just believe how it feels today. Could set people free. Be content in your question, but may I just mention, you're only a drop in the sea. Only a drop in the sea.
Thank you. So that song has significance in my life now, it always has, and yet I disagree with one aspect of the song, and that's actually the title. We are not only a drop in the sea. As Rumi says, we are the entire ocean in a drop. So never think of ourselves as less than. We are not less than. We are the allness at the level of our own expression. And that's a magnificent thing. Magnificent thing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the song a little bit later and some of the lyrics of the song. But I want to start off by, I am obsessed with this. I need to stop. I'm going to stand over here. I'm going to talk a little bit about my summer vacation. So yes, I was in the Caribbean last week, as I mentioned before. I was in the Dominican Republic. My husband and I went to Punta Cana, and we were there to celebrate. And I actually officiated my cousin's wedding. She and her now wife, she and her girlfriend, got married last week, a week ago yesterday. It was a magnificent ceremony on the beach. Loved it. My dad was there with us, of course, because she is her niece. He is, you know what I'm trying to say. She is his niece. That's what I was trying to say. And I love to swim. So going to tropical places and being able to swim in the ocean is one of my most favorite things to do. I've gone to the Caribbean a number of times. Mostly I've been on cruise ships in the Caribbean. But I so prefer going to an island and having a beach experience and like not being relegated to looking at the ocean off the side of the deck of a boat, of a ship. I prefer swimming in the sea, in the ocean, over swimming in a pool. There is something really powerful about being engaged in the energy of the ocean, feeling part of that energy, and recognizing, if you're willing to be open to it, that that energy is the same energy that is activating the life force within. I just love it. I just love it. Now, swimming in the ocean, I will say, it does have its fear of danger, its share of danger if you want to live in that place of fear. And in fact, we were told we probably shouldn't be swimming in the ocean because it was red flag warnings. They're saying, oh, the currents are really too strong. And, they had lifeguards out there. And let's face it, everybody was out there swimming in the ocean anyway. So why live in fear? Why live in fear? I chose not to live in fear, and I knew that I would be safe. So I went and I splashed around in the waves. It was wonderful. Yes. At our core, as I've mentioned several times already today, we are the infinite. We are the infinite. And I think we must take that to heart more and more and more. We are ultimately inseparable from the perception of wholeness when we truly understand and live in that third tenet that I carry with me. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. You are inseparable from the wholeness. I often say, if God is infinite, and that's what we teach, God is infinite. If God is infinite, if we believe that we are something separate from God, then God is no longer infinite, it is finite, and we become finite. And that very construct in mind is the thing that leads to discord in our lives. When we align ourselves and know that we are part of this infinite wholeness, then we can be in that magnificent flow, and life begins to take care of itself to our highest good. We are absolutely inseparable from wholeness. So let us let go of any notion or any idea that we are somehow separate. It is this is the nature, this is how we awaken to our magnificence. This is how we awaken and evolve. Evolution, I talk about spiritual evolution. Evolution is the awakening of the soul to the recognition of its unity with the whole. The whole point and purpose of spiritual evolution is to deepen in our understanding of being one wholeness, one unity. I speak of spiritual evolution as being a primary driver for me in my life. My whole desire to be in this path of ministry, because you know what? For 20 years, I had a pretty decent career as an actor and a singer in musical theater in Los Angeles and in New York. I was doing pretty well. But there was that moment where I said, you know what? There is that evolving nature within me that says something has to change. And this is what I want to do. This is my calling. How many of you are in touch with your calling? Rhetorical question. Just check in with yourself. Are you in touch with your calling? Do you even know what your calling is? Do you know what your connectedness with wholeness is? And are you allowing that to flow freely, or are we putting up some kind of barrier to that in some way? The lyrics in the song, the ones when I have spoken around this song, Drop in the Sea. Oh, by the way, the song, do you know who Haley Mills is? I know many of you will know who Haley Mills is. This song was written by her son. Yeah, like people are like, what? Yeah. If you don't know who Haley Mills is, you can talk to me after the service and I'll explain to you the whole Disney world. The lyrics of the song that I usually talk about are these: questions unfolding like books in their pages. They just keep on turning for me. And I keep on asking why every question will somehow relate back to me. That's oftentimes the lyrics that I talk about. It's about stepping into living the question. It's allowing ourselves to say, I am open to questioning everything I think I know. And from that question, living in the question and allowing ourselves to be open to what shows up, that's a great spiritual practice. And always those questions refer back to that which is inherent within. Every question relates back to me. Every question relates back to you. When we find that the answer to every question is within, life gets easier. But there are some other lyrics that I often gloss over, and I want to talk a little bit about them today. In the second verse, he wrote, directions revolving. Directions revolving. These questions I'm solving, but nobody hears what I say. So frustrating, right? Nobody hears what I say. It's like, I have an answer. Note that I didn't say, I have the answer. I have an answer. And if you're willing, if we are each and every one of us willing to find that answer within ourselves, I may be a reflection of what is happening within your heart. For I know that you are a reflection of what is happening within my heart. You know how I know that? You exist in my life. You are here. And we are all reflections of one another. How grateful I am for that. Do you ever find yourself going, oh, nobody hears what I say? The lyric continues, my answer is unspoken of sweetest emotion. Believe how it feels today. Just believe how it feels today. Let go of the past. Let go of what you think is going to unfold in the future. And believe in what you feel right here in this moment. What is happening for you? For this is it. This is the moment. We dredge those things from the past and we carry them with us, and they can weigh us down. The minute you let go and believe how you feel in this moment without any of that, we find ourselves living in the flow. In our search for understanding, are we forgetting that this is the moment? This is it. Even what I spoke 5 minutes ago is now in the past, and you can either choose to carry it with you or let it go. You can anticipate what I may say 5 minutes from now, and at that point, you can choose to either accept it or let it go. You are at choice. You're always at choice to be in the flow, but gosh, we resist it, don't we? I know I've spent much of my life until 10 years ago yesterday resisting the flow. So, let's go back to the beach for a moment. I was on the beach with my cousin and her wife and my husband. And it was the four of us. A lot of the wedding party had dissipated, and this was Tuesday. And, we're out there, we're lounging on the nice lounges that they have. The resorts all have these nice lounges and umbrellas and everything that you can enjoy. And I said, we've got to go get in the ocean. And my cousin said, oh, I don't know, I'm not really comfortable. It makes me really nervous. I said, trust me, just trust me. You're going to be just fine. And so we ventured ourselves into the water. We're in the water and floating around. And my cousin is holding back. When the breakers happen, it's actually pretty rough up there, right? If you actually get further in, it's not quite as rough. So I'm trying to convince her to come in. Now, the thing you have to know about my cousin is she's about that tall. So where I can go out there and stand easily beyond the breakers, she has a bit more of a challenge. She has to, tread water a little bit more. She even said to me, "It must be really nice for you to be able to stand out there." Okay, I get it. But I heard myself giving her advice in terms of how to be with the flow of the waves. I said, here's the thing. You can either stand in resistance and have them knock you over, or you can ride in or dive in and be with the energy of the ocean. You can either ride in, body surfing, love that. You can either ride in or you can dive in. I said, but you have to be active in one direction or the other. You can't try to just remain still, because if you try to remain still, you're going to get knocked over. So what a great metaphor, what a great lesson to remind myself of in that moment, to say, I need to just be with the flow and the energy. Give up the resistance. So if you ever go to the ocean and you're in the waves, remember, as those swells come up, if they start to break, especially the really big ones, dive in, and you'll be just fine. Or start to, they're all coming from you. So clearly you are the ocean, and they're all coming from you, and I'm riding that wave in. Ride in or dive in. Resistance will always give you trouble. Resistance is an inability to accept what is. If you're in that, and you're trying to hold yourself, you're not going with what is. You're not going with what is. It's stubborn adherence to something. It is inaction, or a belief that we can ever be in action and believe that everything that comes forth at us with energy is going to be a challenge. Let's let go of that today. In what ways, this is another rhetorical question, in what ways might we collectively be experiencing resistance? Just in life, not just in the ocean, but in our life. In what ways might we collectively be experiencing resistance? I see so much resistance all around me. And in observing that resistance, I have to step back and go, that resistance is born of one thing, a belief in separation, a belief that I am not part of this infinite energy, this wholeness, this wave. Resistance is born of a belief that there is something other, something else, and there isn't. There is only the energy of the wave, like being in the surf. When we resist, we exhaust ourselves. You ever find yourself exhausted from resistance? I'm back in my home. Some of you may recall a few weeks ago I said I was living out of a hotel because we had an issue in our home. And it made our home unlivable for a period while we've had construction happening. We're back in our home now. And one of the things that has happened is having to deal with vendors and contractors. You all laugh because you all know the story I'm probably about to tell. Here's the thing. If we are not in resistance, then everything flows smoothly. But there's aspects of this experience where I have been in resistance to what has been happening in my home. And it's that in the moment. I'm going, I cannot get through and make it happen. It was actually good for me to be out of the country last week because a lot of stuff happened while we were away, and we just checked in via text message every once in a while and said, is everything going fine? Everything's going fine? Okay. Let go of the resistance. And you know what? We came back to a home we could actually live in again. It's not complete, but letting go of the resistance has allowed us to be in the flow, so it was available to us to move back into our home. Again, this message is all around. It keeps coming up. So clearly there's something in it for me to learn.
which is the secret to ministry, I always tell people. Whatever you're preaching from the stage is whatever you probably need to learn. So here's the question that I come up with. Am I going to ride in or dive in? Both work. Or am I going to be in resistance? Today I choose to dive in. I choose to dive in. Because when I dive into that energy, I'm always in the flow. In either case, wherever we're choosing to be, we're in the flow. We get to be in the flow with what is. That's the spiritual lesson. This works in the material world. Letting go of resistance works in the material world just as well as it works in the world of mind, the conscious world. Charles Fillmore said, when mind is adjusted to the divine law, all the vital forces flow harmoniously, providing protection from discord. When mind, and it's up to us to address what's happening in our mind, when mind is adjusted to the divine law, all the vital forces flow harmoniously, providing protection from discord. One of the tenets of our teaching, of the New Thought teaching, is that we can find ourselves in a place free of all discord. But it takes the mind to do that. We have to decide to do that. Discord only arises in that sense of separation, and it dissipates when we are in the flow and the wave of life. The ultimate flow is riding or diving into consciousness. The domain of potentiality is our consciousness, a higher consciousness in which we are all one. Infinite potentiality is not something derived from out there. It is that which is discovered from within right here. It is unleashed by being in the flow. It is not unleashed power. It is belief. It is faith. There's a story in Scripture that seems a bit relevant to me today, and that is in Matthew 14, chapter 14, verses 23 through 33, and I'm going to read it all. This is immediately after the miracle of the loaves and the fishes. Immediately after that, Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance from the land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." "If it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" That's the lesson. The moment we go into fear is the moment we begin to sink. If we are in faith, we can rise above all circumstance. We can allow ourselves to be the one who can walk on water. It's a call to each and every one of us to release doubt and fear, to release resistance, to be in the flow, to either ride in or dive in or perhaps walk on water. That's what it's all about. Release the fear, find the faith. Are you ready to be in the flow? Yes? You ready? All righty then. Be in the flow. You are magnificent. Peace and blessings to you. The homework this week boils down to this: feel the fear and do it anyway. Reflect on something. I want you to find something this week that you can reflect on that has elicited fear in you in some way. It could be something that has been long-standing in your life, or it may be something that has recently come up for you. It may be something that you perceive as a great fear, or it may be perceived as a small fear. Find within yourself the place to either ride in or dive into that fear. Feel the fear and do it anyway. That's the message, and that's the homework this week. And so I'm going to invite us all to relax right where we are. As we let's allow ourselves to reflect on any kernel of truth that may have come up for us. Just let it be present in mind. Just relax.
In the stillness of this moment, I feel love. I feel love. In the stillness of this moment, I feel love. I feel love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment I feel love. In the stillness of this moment I feel peace. I feel peace. In the stillness of this moment, I feel peace. I feel peace, and I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment, I feel peace. Right here in the stillness of this moment, I allow my mind to reflect on the infinite truth of the one power, the one presence, the one infinite wholeness, which is all there is, and know that we are, each and every one of us, that wholeness. All that is contained within God is contained within each and every one of us. There is no separation. Trusting this and knowing this, I know that we all have the capacity, and we each of us make the decision in the way that suits us best to either ride in or dive in, to give up resistance and to live in faith, to live in belief that all is flowing forth with ease and with grace, for that is the nature of life. And so it is with a grateful heart that I simply allow this to unfold. In gratitude, I say yes. I welcome it all. And I release, trust, and know that all is well. All is well. All is well. And so it is. In the stillness of this moment, I feel love. I feel love. In the stillness of this moment, I feel love. I feel love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment I feel love.
This is the point in our service where we have been passing the basket, but because of the recent guidance from the CDC, we're going to go back to having the baskets at the back of the room. And if whatever you have to offer, you can fill out an envelope and place it in the basket as you make your way out. If you're online and you would like to give, you can do so in any number of ways. You can go to unitytucson.com and click on any of the donation links that exist on our website. You can call the office during our regular office hours, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and you can use a debit or credit card over the phone. You can send in a check. We accept checks via any delivery service you decide to use. You can also text Unity Tucson to 73256. That goes for you if you're in the room. You can use a smartphone and text your donation in. We're deeply grateful for all that you do and all the ways that you support this community. We have some things that are going to be coming up and some discussions we're going to be having about the finances of this community and how we can continue to thrive and grow as a spiritual community. That's all coming up, so be on the lookout for that. I'm just feeling all the gratitude right now. I just feel so good. Let's share together as we concretize our consciousness of giving. Let's share together our givingness statement. I share this gift with love, conscious of the inner presence as the lavish source and substance of my supply. I am rooted in the assurance that this gift blesses Unity of Tucson, and I trust in its ever-present circulation, knowing its blessings return to me. And so it is. And we're going to sing the song, and if you want to move your body a little bit, you're welcome to do so.
I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself.
Thank you so much. So I want to say thank you and bless all the offerings that are to be put into the baskets and know that they continue to thrive and grow this center. I also want to acknowledge the prayer chest here. If you have a prayer request, there are prayer request forms that are in the foyer. And if William, do you mind if I call upon you? William's going to take the prayer chest out to the foyer so you can place your requests into it. But know that all of these are handled by the prayer team here at Unity of Tucson. And as we collect them, they eventually also get sent to Silent Unity for their work as well. And so it is an opportunity for you to have your prayers answered by, first of all, just making the decision to put something in that box is a path to healing. So enjoy that. Yes, thank you so much for that. We are continuing to do yoga. However, it has changed. We were doing yoga on Wednesday evenings. Yoga will now be at 9:30 a.m. on Monday mornings, beginning tomorrow and continuing. And Lynn always would like me to, Lynn is back there, she leads our yoga practice. She always wants me to remind you that if you have never done yoga before, if you think that you are too limited to do yoga, you're not. That she will work with you to ensure it is a gentle practice for you. And the whole thing about yoga is doing what you can do. It's not about trying to get yourself, pretzeled up in like all these different shapes. Do what you can do. It's a wonderful way to be both spiritual and physical and know that the physical and the spiritual are all one and the same. So I encourage you to join us for that. Normally, we try to have our physical newsletter out before the first of the month, or at least arriving on the first day of the month. Because I was in the Dominican Republic, we didn't get it done. And I'm just going to have to say that's okay. I had the president of my board say to me before I left, she said, if something doesn't get done, oh well. You can be on the lookout for Expanding Horizons to be in your mailbox this week if you are subscribed to Expanding Horizons. If you are not subscribed to Expanding Horizons and would like to be, you can let us know. It will also be online on our website in the next couple days, so check that out. There is an emergency board meeting today to address the physical needs of our building, and I don't know why I just felt it was important to tell you that. Part of that is because as we have come back to in-person services, we had been doing this online virtual gathering every single Sunday at 11:30. We're going to go ahead and discontinue that because, bless you, Molly, it was you and Karen for many, many weeks, and nobody else was arriving, so we feel like that need has dissipated now since we are together. There is a plan for we're going to keep looking and seeing what's happening in the world of form, which sometimes we have to look at. We can't be in denial about what's happening, but we know that we have a supreme mind that addresses what's happening in the world of form. But we're going to be looking at bringing back hospitality probably in another month is what we're looking at now. Just continue to see how life unfolds. But here's what I'm going to encourage us all to do. Let us all get our mind in right order around the healing of this world and this pandemic, because I'm done with it, frankly. I'm really done with it. And we are a point of healing. We are a point where we can put our minds into action to heal this world. It starts right where each and every one of us is. So let's keep that in mind and be in the flow of that and not resistant to it. What do you say? Yes. I am going to be looking at other ways to connect virtually as well, though, as we eliminate the Sunday meeting. We'll find other ways to connect. I want to say thank you to everybody who made today. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot. The birthdays. Yes, William is trying to catch my attention and remind me that it is birthday Sunday. If you are celebrating a birthday in the month of August, you may have been asked about that and filled out a form. Did everyone who is celebrating a birthday in the month of August fill out a form if you wanted to? Is there anyone who did not fill out a form? Winnell did not fill out a form. So what is happening here is, and Catherine is right behind you, Roberta, who also is celebrating a birthday. We do a drawing every single month on the first Sunday of the month to celebrate birthdays, and what you get to do is you get to fill out your name, let us know that you're celebrating a birthday during that month, and choose from our vetted list of charities a charity that you would like us to support. And if your name is drawn, then we will send part of our tithe to that charity for that month. So I'm going to go ahead and allow the forms to be filled out. And you know what? I think we're going to have to do the drawing at the end of service. We'll do it by the door because the forms still are going out. But I want to say thank you to everybody who made today's service possible. I want to say thank you to our technical crew, Wally and Don and Aiden, for ensuring that we can be seen and heard, both online and in the room. I want to say thank you to this magnificent group of musicians over here, Linda, Joshua, Raphael, the best band in the New Thought movement. Yes, yes, yes. I want to say thank you to Winnell for sharing today and for lighting the flames of faith. Deeply grateful to you for you. I want to say thank you to everybody online, and I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for making your presence known, not just here at Unity of Tucson, but in life. You are important and you are magnificent. As we complete our time here today, let's share together the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. I am that light. The love of God enfolds me. I am that love. The power of God protects me. I am that power. The presence of God watches over me. I am that presence. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever God is, I am. And so it is. Amen. Again, feel free to get up and dance. I love this one.
I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. It makes me feel so good. I can do most anything. I am loving every living thing. I can see the face of God. makes me feel so good I can do most anything. I'm believing in my guiding light. No matter what comes, it always turns out right. I just dig down to how I feel. I take a deep breath and then grab the wheel. That's why I'm believing in my guiding light. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. It makes me feel so good I can do most anything. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. It makes me feel so good I can do most anything. It makes me feel so good I can do most anything. It makes me feel so good I can do most anything. Make it a magnificent week, everyone. Namaste.